Douglas Allen Bickford, President and CEO of Say I Love You in the Mirror Productions. Today's date's the 15th of July 2022, about 8:30 a.m. here Pacific Standard Time. Friday the 15th, broadcasting live from my 105-year-old house from my hometown of Klamath Falls, Oregon, which is the gateway to Crater Lake National Park, which is one of the 7 wonders of the world. You ought to check it out. Good morning, all my YouTube and Facebook friends. I am on YouTube and Facebook, and have been for over a year, teaching you how to be positive about how, where, and what you are and your world. Okay? And the way to do that is to attain and maintain self-esteem, and it comes out of this book here, The Portable Therapist. What self-esteem is, it's how you feel about yourself inside. It's also known as self-confidence, self-love, self-worth. Think of self-esteem as this. Most people don't even know what the 2 words mean because nobody's teaching it except for Douglas Allen Bickford here in Klamath Falls, Oregon, and how to get it. Okay. We've all been in romantic relationships. That person, when you first meet him, that person walks on water, man. They can do no wrong. Both people feel the same way, bragging to all your family and friends how great these people are. Well, what self-esteem is that good feeling towards yourself, okay? And Dr. Susanna McMahon, a psychiatrist, has a doctorate in psychology. She also has a master's in philosophy. She's 73, lives in Madrid, Texas with her husband. This book was published in 1992, and every lesson in it, it's in question form. It doesn't have chapters. I call them lessons. Every lesson in it talks about how we've been trained and taught not to have self-esteem, self-love, self-confidence, self-worth, not to feel good about ourselves. So, as a psychiatrist, people would hire her. She's had thousands of clients. She wrote the book 30 years ago, folks. Okay. People would hire her as a psychiatrist to fix their unhealthy minds. She knows, as a psychiatrist, since she went to school for 10 years to learn how the brain functions, the science of the mind, right? That nobody was teaching self-esteem, and she knows that in order to fix an unhealthy mind, she has to get her clients to give themselves self-esteem. Nobody can give you self-esteem. So she devised a concept so her clients could give themselves self-esteem. And here's that concept. It is: say 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily instead of criticizing yourself. I love you. I love my inner child. I'm worthy to be loved. I'm worthy to love. I am full of goodness. Those 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily without fail will give you self-esteem instantaneously. But to maintain that self-esteem, you'll have to practice it like lifting weights. You start lifting weights and stop, you have to start over from scratch. Self-esteem is the exact same thing for the brain, and so you have to say it daily. It'll take you less than 10 seconds. I love you. I love my inner child. I'm worthy to be loved. Worthy to love. I'm full of goodness. That's it. And it will give you self-esteem. But you have to say it every day for the rest of your life. And here's the other reason she came up with mirror therapy and why it's so powerful. It's a psychological event in your brain that happens, and you cannot lie to yourself in the mirror. So, you can't look dead straight in your eyes and say something you don't believe about yourself. That's why you can very easily criticize yourself, or say it or think it, because that's how you feel about yourself. You can't say good things about yourself because you don't feel good about yourself, because of all our training. Okay. Just one of them is religion, telling us we're all bad and we need a savior, okay, to save us, okay, from ourselves. And we're born bad, right? But that's a whole other subject. Anyway, So, the reason it is so vital, so the very first time, folks, that you say it in the mirror, because you don't believe it about yourself, you'll have to force yourself to do it. Because you can't lie to yourself in the mirror. That's why you want to turn me off when I tell you this. And because you don't feel that way about yourself, so you can't say good things about yourself in the mirror. Because you can't lie to yourself in the mirror. So, the very first time, force yourself to do it, folks. You'll feel very strange and awkward. But do it anyway beyond that awkward feeling. The more you say it, the more you feel it, the more you believe it. The reason it's so vital for you to have self-esteem as a human being, it's the absolute most important thing we can have as a human being, because we cannot be content without it. What content means is you feel good about how, where, and what you are. It's also known as internal peace. There are 11 things that people are using to try to be content. They are Facebook, drugs, alcohol, food, gambling, television, sex, religion, another person, material possessions, or money. Those 11 things are known as externals. They're outside of yourself. They will only make you content temporarily. Just think about it. The drug high goes away, so you have to do more drugs to get that same good feeling, right? The alcohol buzz goes away, so you have to do more alcohol to get the alcohol buzz, all right? And then the other 9 things are exactly the same thing. It's always temporary. There's absolutely only one thing that's going to make you content permanently and give you internal peace. And that's to say 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily without fail for the rest of your life. Take your less than 10 seconds, folks. Seriously. The other reason it's so vital as a human being to have self-esteem. Can't love without it, and we can't be loved. So what happens is, when you get yourself in a romantic relationship, you'll attract exactly what you are. If you don't have self-esteem, you'll attract somebody that doesn't have it. So then, after that good feeling goes away when you first met these people, whether you marry them, you don't marry them, you move in and all the everyday stuff starts happening, you get tired of each other, right? And then the good feeling went away. So that's when the fights and the arguments start. The sex goes bad, the cheating on each other, the lies and secrets that you keep from each other, the drug and alcohol use, the getting in the car, going down the road. I gotta get away from the maniac. I mean, I've done all this stuff, right? And then telling all your friends and buddies and church members how terrible these people are to you. Both sides doing the same thing. They're telling their families, okay? And then because the relationship turned toxic, the 2 people will separate or divorce. And then they'll go jump in another relationship and the exact same thing will happen. Because you got in another one without self-esteem. Because you can't love or be loved without it, okay? Then you attract somebody just like you. So, that's why I've been married 4 times and divorced 4 times because of it. It's why I've had many failed relationships. It's why you've had many failed relationships and been married more than once, okay? The next thing that will happen, 2 people that get involved without self-esteem will stay in that relationship forever, okay? Because they don't want to be, they're codependent on each other. They don't want to be failures. They can't be alone. They don't want to be embarrassment to all their family and friends, and they're afraid to leave. So they'll stay in that toxic relationship forever, for years. There's a lot of people doing that too. And then all the emotional, sexual, and physical abuse of those 2 original ones that stayed together, even though they don't even like each other anymore, they all get swept under the rug by all the family members. And then that becomes a dysfunctional family, and dysfunctional families produce more dysfunctional families down the line, okay? And then all that emotional, sexual, and physical abuse of the original 2 gets swept under the rug by all the family, and it just continues on. The last thing that'll happen is 2 people that get together with no self-esteem will just go after too many failed relationships and too many failed marriages, they'll just exit out of the romantic scene completely. They'll go, I'm done. I can't find anybody to love me, and I can't find anybody to love, so I am not going to be with anybody. So they just end up being alone for the rest of their life. And they'll be just as miserable alone as they were in the relationship, because you can't be content without self-esteem. And then those people use the 11 things to try to be content. Okay? And it'll never work. So, the cure, the solution to the problem is for all parties involved in what I just described, which is billions of people on the planet, to say 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily without fail. Everybody does it. And get the book and go through the book, and then it'll fix you. Okay? It'll fix a toxic relationship. If one person doesn't want to change, wants to stay stuck in all that mess, then the person that gets self-esteem will be able to have the strength and the courage to remove themselves. Okay? And then the lonely person out there won't be miserable anymore alone, and won't have to use the 11 things to try to be content, because they'll have internal peace. Okay? So anyway, I'm going through Dr. Susanna McMahon's book, one lesson at a time. Here's that next lesson. Lesson 56. Why do I feel I'm not here or anywhere? People who have learned to be codependent, chronically depressed, insecure, and see how she said learned. You've learned, it's a learned behavior, because they're teaching us that. Chronically depressed, insecure, or who have focused all their energies on the externals, which are those 11 things I just told you about, have spent years not being aware of themselves in relationship to their environments. For these people, it's very familiar. It is a very familiar symptom not to feel a part of anything. My third wife told me, I don't feel like I'm part of anything. And then we got into like this, money scam on the internet. Okay, that was my third wife. Her name was Erin. And then I got into it with her because she felt like she wasn't part of anything. She was psychologically lost. For these people, it is a very familiar symptom not to feel a part of anything, not to feel belongingness anywhere, and in fact, to feel they just barely exist. By refusing to take care of ourselves, to put ourselves first, and to know what we want and where we are literally taking ourselves out of the picture. Our feeling of not being here or anywhere is an accurate reflection of what we have done to our self-esteem. By not being centered and aware of ourselves in this world, we can easily lose sight of our centers and our awareness of the world. It is a terrible feeling to go through the motions and not feel connected or a real part of what is going on. What is being described can be thought of as being psychologically lost. The solution is similar to what you do when you're physically lost. You seek help. You ask for help. You ask someone to guide you to familiar territory. I can be your guide, folks. And the 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily, you won't be psychologically lost anymore. I guarantee it. You get directions that you can follow. And I just gave you directions how to get it, okay? Get self-esteem. Because that's why you feel psychological loss, because you don't have self-esteem. And then you act. You leave where you are lost and go to where you know. In this situation, where you are psychologically lost, you must go to a place that you do not know. The center of yourself. In this case, you cannot find yourself by seeking a familiar environment. Often, that is what causes you to live in the past, which is where you were before you felt lost. Or you may try to return to the last familiar place you felt lost. There is only one cure, and that is to discover yourself within yourself, and that is the 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily, folks. I'm serious. It works. I was psychologically lost for 65 years of my life. Not no more. I'll be secure no matter where I go, where I end up, because I discovered myself within myself, and you all can get it too by the 4 things to yourself in the mirror. All paths lead to the center, and the center can be found wherever you are. Once you have found your center, you will never be afraid of being psychologically lost again. You will know that you can feel belongingness wherever you may be because you feel it within yourself. Follow the steps. Okay. Wait till that plane goes over. Okay. Follow the steps outlined for developing self-esteem. Okay, and I just told you how to get it. Okay. Those 4 things to yourself in the mirror daily. We'll give it to you, folks. I'm serious. Focus on the internals. Do not panic. Go slowly. And you will soon feel familiar with the process of discovering who and what you really are. The more you practice self-esteem, just like I told you, the more secure you become within yourself. That's why I say those things daily to myself, daily, okay? I mean, I say it more than once. The more I say it, the more I feel it, the more I believe it. The more centered you feel, the more aware you will be of your presence in the world. You will begin to know where you are at all times, and you will feel that you belong even in unfamiliar settings. Your inner self will become your familiar and comfortable home. Whoa. There you go, folks. There's another very powerful lesson for you. I'm going to have another one tomorrow. Lesson 57. Why do I sometimes want to die? I can be a mentor when you start going through this change by saying those 4 things to yourself in the mirror. And then you won't be psychologically lost anymore. 458-232-5238. Call me anytime, day or night. And that will lead you on your road to being positive about how, what, and where you are. And give you internal peace. I guarantee it. Okay. You all have a great day out there this Friday. Don't go out partying tonight if you say those 4 things to yourself in the mirror. It's a Friday night. You won't have to go out and party and drink and all that stuff to try to feel good. Because you'll get it from inside of you. Have a great day out there. Had a great weekend, but I'll be talking to you tomorrow.